Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we are going to be harvesting my hardshell gourds. I grew these gourds all season long and then I left them on the vine to dry as we got our frost. If the gourds grew long enough and became mature, you can leave them dry up on the vine or down on the vine if you grew them on the ground, or you could cut them off and take them into a ventilated space to let them dry all winter long if you're going to use them for crafts. That way you can cure them and they turn into a woody-like structure that you can carve into some birdhouses or a lot of other things. If you choose to leave them dry on the vine, you'll definitely see which ones rot, and they'll just start to fall whenever they are dry. And if you have them up on a structure like I do, some of them might break. See, that one broke, and then probably have another one broken. They'll actually fall too far, and these are heavy gourds, so they'll actually break themselves whenever they fall, and that's the problem I'm getting into. These apple ones are actually pretty good. This is a good example. This dipper gourd fell down and shattered. You can see all the seeds and gunk in there rotting away. So that one's no good, obviously. But before all of these gourds fall off my pergola, I want to get in here, chop them all down, and set them to the side so they don't fall and break. Some of the smaller gourds I'm just going to leave up, and I'll clean them up whenever I clean up all the vines. I usually clean these vines up whenever winter really sets in and it's frozen out here. That way I can just come out and break all the vines right off the metal wire caging, and it's a lot easier that way. These are my hanging gourds on my pergola up here, and I just really like the look of these whenever they're all dangling off the pergola. I sometimes put a hammock in here to sit and enjoy it. Whenever the leaves are in full coverage over the top, it's a nice little area in here. But I'm gonna get these cut down, see how many I got, and then over here in my food forest, I have more growing on the ground that volunteered from last year. So I'm gonna go ahead and see how many survived over there, how many we got surviving over here, and do a final count at the end. Okay, we got our little harvest here. We didn't get as many as we did last year, and I'm still leaving some of them up there to hang because they're just not that big. I only want the ones that I can actually do something with and make some crafts with. You can see how big this one is. It's a full, probably 9-inch diameter round ball here, and that would make a bird pretty happy. This one as well has a nice shape and a large cavity in the middle, as well as these two. Came real good. These are the Chinese water bottle gourds, and I believe they're crossed with a martin gourd because I saved my seeds last year and had them cross-pollination. I also have the dipper gourd, which some of these can get bigger, but I didn't have any get that big of a round bottom at the bottom, so I don't think any bird's going to be able to live in this, but I might be able to make something else out of them, so I'm going to save a few of those. The other variety I have here is the apple gourd. Some of these really look like an apple. They got the tapered ends and the flat sides to really look just like an apple does. Here it is. This one's the one that looks just like an apple. So I could probably make this one into a birdhouse or paint it red like an apple, or even both. But it's nice to get some of these, and I'll be able to dry these out over winter and use these next year in some crafts. I'll also be able to save the seeds out of them once they're dry and I cut them open for whatever use I'm going to use them as. I'll be able to save the seeds and plant those in my next year's garden. Now we're going to head over to the food forest and see what I got out of the volunteer that a bird probably planted last year. In my leaf-covered food forest, we have some gourds poking out. As I said, this vine out here sprouted probably halfway through the season, and these hardshell gourds have a long cycle, so they like 180 days till maturity. So some of these did not make it to maturity and they rotted on the vine, which is just fine. I don't want to cut them off the vine and try and dry them and then have them rot somewhere else. So I just let them sit here, rot on the ground. I'll come by around this time, pick the ones that aren't rotten, and those ones can go up into the barn to dry for crafts. All of these are the Caveman Club gourds, so they have these ridges in them you can clearly see. This one obviously all soft, that one's soft, soft, soft. So a lot of these are going to be soft. That one's soft, soft. We'll see if we got any of these that are solid out here. Soft, soft, soft. So it looks like I do have one here that's definitely hard. Cut it off here. You want to cut these just like pumpkins and anything else as high up on the vine as you can. And this one is a nice hard gourd, and I can save this one for crafts. Pretty green, but some of these other ones might have made it. That's soft. Soft. So yeah, some of these ones, oh, that one's good, so I'll cut that one off. I did not get as many leaving them down on the ground as I would having them hang. But sometimes you have to, because you can't get this curly neck here hanging them off the pergola. It'll end up being straight. So sometimes if you want to do something different and get a different kind of gourd going, a different shape, then you might have to grow it a different way. These ones are all bad. You can see they're all rotted out in the middle. All the seeds are all wet. So I only got 2 good hard shell gourds out here of the ones that I have laying on the ground. I only got 2 of them that are going to be a nice solid, because that one's actually pretty good size too to make a birdhouse out of. So that's fine. I still have some from last year. I'm just trying to get a good amount of these grown and dried. So I only got 2 out of the food forest bunch, but they were volunteers, so that was all extra anyway. I'm just trying to get a good amount of these cured and dried, so whenever I figure out what I want to do with them, I'll have a large selection to pick from. So I'm going to leave these here so they can dry out some more before I put them inside to finish drying. I actually made a video about getting this birdhouse all up and running. You can see it just hangs right on my pergola, and the birds do use it. There's even a bird nested in here inside my honeysuckle. And then I hang another one over on this side. And these things were full all year long. You can still see the straw remnants in there. And then the pergola even does some more to where it supports a lot more nests as well. So I don't even have to have the birdhouse gourds going, but I enjoy them. I have one up in that tree. It's a little dark, but it's about right there. You can see it in between the branches. I have another one over in that maple tree over there. And there's another one in that hemlock. And that maple tree over there as well has one hanging. You can see it right there. Creating the houses out of the gourds is just a nice natural way to bring the wildlife into your property and create some more nesting sites. Completely forgot, I have a few more gourds hanging from a dead lilac tree that we have out front. And you see how many I got on there. Okay, we got a couple more off that tree, so we'll do the final count. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 20 gourds that I can dry out and use for some birdhouses and crafts next year. And of course, if you have more ideas for crafts, you can use a lot of the smaller ones that I left up hanging, but I like to see them hanging there until I have to clean up the whole area for next year. So I grow them all year. I like to see them up there as long as I can. If you want to see how to make one of these gourds into a birdhouse, go ahead and check out the video above. If you want to see more of the garden, go ahead and check out our other channel, Whitt Acres Garden Tours, which I post weekly garden tours during the growing season. So go down in the description down below and check out our other channels. Subscribe to all of them for all the content that we're putting out here at Whitt Acres. You can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.